They sent an army for one old man. From the ridge above the settlement, Elias Rook watched the horizon split open. Dropships burned through the amber sky like falling stars, their hulls cutting trails through the dust-laden atmosphere. The desert winds howled across the dunes, carrying the low, bone-deep hum of alien engines, steady, confident, inevitable. Behind him, the colony of New Karth lay quiet. 200 souls, farmers, engineers, children who had never seen Earth. They huddled beneath reinforced domes and patched together shields, trusting a man whose best years had supposedly passed decades ago. Elias adjusted the worn strap of his rifle. "They're early," he muttered. The comm bead in his ear crackled. "Elias?" Mara's voice trembled. "You don't have to do this alone." He didn't turn around. His eyes remained fixed on the descending fleet. "Yes," he said calmly. "I do." The aliens, known in scattered transmissions as the Celt, had never negotiated. They arrived, they harvested, they moved on. Planets weren't conquered, they were erased, and New Karth was next. The first dropship struck the desert 10 kilometers out, sending a plume of dust spiraling into the sky. Then another, and another. Within minutes, the horizon was lined with them, sleek, angular constructs unfolding like predatory insects. From their bellies poured ranks of tall, jointed figures clad in organic armor that shimmered like obsidian glass. They moved with eerie precision, silent. Elias exhaled slowly. "Still marching in straight lines," he said under his breath. His rifle hummed faintly as it powered up. An antique by modern standards, its casing scratched and sun-bleached. But Elias maintained it like a sacred relic, because it was. He stepped forward, just one man, descending the ridge, toward an army. The Celt noticed him almost immediately. Their formation shifted, several units breaking off, advancing toward the lone figure trudging through the sand. Elias stopped at the base of the ridge. The wind tugged at his coat, revealing glimpses of old armor beneath, scarred plating, patched together from campaigns long forgotten. A towering Celt commander emerged from the ranks, its elongated head tilting slightly as it observed him. Curiosity, not caution. A mistake. A thin beam of violet light lanced out. Elias moved before it fired. The world snapped into clarity. Time didn't slow. He did. A sidestep. Precise. Minimal. The beam carved through empty air where his chest had been. Elias raised his rifle and fired once. The shot struck the commander dead center. The alien's armor flared, then collapsed inward. The Celt disintegrated in a silent implosion. The army paused. Elias lowered the rifle slightly. "Huh," he muttered. "Still works." They adapted quickly. The next wave came faster, coordinated, aggressive. Energy blasts lit the desert in flashes of searing violet, turning sand to glass. Elias moved through it like a ghost, every step deliberate, every motion efficient. He didn't waste energy, didn't panic, didn't rush. He simply survived and killed. A shot, a step, a shift in angle. Another alien fell. Then 2, then 10. From the ridge, Mara watched through a cracked scope, her breath shallow. He's holding them," she whispered. No one spoke. They just watched, as one man rewrote what they thought possible. The Celt changed tactics. Heavy units advanced, larger, slower constructs bristling with weaponry. Their footsteps shook the ground as they closed in, forming a tightening circle around Elias. For the first time, he stopped moving. The desert fell eerily still. Sand drifted around him in slow spirals. Elias sighed. "All right," he said quietly. "Let's not drag this out." He reached up and tapped the side of his neck. A soft click. Something ancient woke up. Pain flooded his body. Not new pain, familiar pain, like an old war remembering him. Beneath his skin, dormant systems surged to life. His vision fractured, then sharpened beyond human limits. The world unfolded into vectors, trajectories, probabilities. The air itself became data. The Celt hesitated. For the first time, they felt it. Not fear, recognition. Elias straightened and smiled. He moved, not like a man, like a weapon. The first heavy unit fired. Too slow. Elias was already inside its guard, his hand striking a precise point along its armor seam. The machine convulsed, then collapsed in on itself. He flowed through the battlefield, a storm contained in human form. Energy blasts curved toward him, and missed. Every time. Because he wasn't reacting, he was predicting. Seconds ahead. Always. The Celt formations broke. Coordination dissolved into chaos, and still, Elias advanced. From the ridge, Mara's voice cracked over the comms. "Elias, what are you?" He didn't answer, because he was remembering. Not the desert, not the colony, but a war. A different sky, a different enemy, and the moment they had built him. It ended as suddenly as it began. The last Celt unit fell, its form collapsing into lifeless fragments that scattered across the sand. Silence returned to the desert. Elias stood alone, breathing steadily. The army was gone, destroyed. Behind him, the colony erupted into cheers, faint, distant, disbelieving. Mara's voice broke through. "You did it! Elias, you actually—" He turned slowly. "No," he said. Something in his voice stopped her cold. Elias looked down at his hands. They were trembling, not from exhaustion, from instability. Cracks of faint blue light traced along his skin, spreading. "I told you they were early," he said softly. Mara's breath caught. "What do you mean?" Elias lifted his gaze toward the horizon. More dropships. Dozens. Hundreds. Descending. "They weren't invading," he said. "They were looking for me." The realization hit like a shockwave. "You?" Mara whispered. Elias nodded. "I wasn't sent here to protect the colony," he said. "I was sent here to hide." The wind howled louder now, as if the planet itself understood. "They built me to end wars," he continued, then decided I was too good at it. The cracks along his body flared brighter. "I've been degrading for years, slowing down, becoming human." He smiled faintly. "I liked it." The sky burned as the full fleet descended. The Celt had come not for conquest, but containment. Elias exhaled. "Get everyone underground," he said. "Now." "Elias!" "That's not a suggestion." She obeyed, because she finally understood. Elias turned back toward the horizon, toward the impossible numbers, toward the war that had finally caught up with him. The blue light consumed him now, his form barely holding together. But his eyes were clear, sharp, alive. "All right," he said. The storm returned, stronger, faster, unstoppable. They sent an army for one old man, and this time they knew exactly what they were fighting.